This thing has me trapped in my car like Cujo. Get out of here. Go on, get. No, don't yell at me. Get.
Oh, what's up? Welcome, Floridiots. What are you doing?
What's up, man?
What's going on?
It's freaking freezing, dude. First cold day of the year in Florida.
It is the first cold day of the
It's
year.
so cold right
You
now.
are.
It's 70.
It's 70
It's 70 degrees.
No humidity.
I'm layered up, big dog.
There's no humidity, so you're fine.
This is what we do.
This is it.
This is what we do.
Welcome to the Floridiots.
Yeah, it's a Floridiots podcast.
Yeah,
we do it each and every week. All Florida man stories all the time. And the oppressive humidity and heat has finally broke.
Yes, it has.
And we finally have a cool day of the year. So
Yeah,
this is what happens in Florida.
stoked about it.
He's got a jean jacket on. I'm all bundled up
Mine's
with a hoodie.
a little bit holy though. Like it's got a lot of holes in it.
It's
So-
religious.
It's
So we got lots of Florida man stories to get to. But
Holy
first, I want to tell you about what we're going to do today. Jason, J-Pops,
me.
I'm Lee. Jay's going to do a lot of the stories because we got some feedback
Oh
last
my
week
gosh.
from a few listeners
So weird.
who thought that I was mean to Jay.
No.
So, I mean, here's the thing. One of the people that critique the show probably won't be watching because every 4 to 6 weeks they decide they don't want to be my friend for some reason. So
Okay.
that may just have been, that critique may just be out the window. We just lost the viewer.
Ghost critique.
I don't know what constitutes like a good friendship. At this point in my life, I feel like I should know. But like every 4 to 6 weeks, like clockwork, this person just decides they don't want to be my friend.
Right.
And, you know, part of me kind of likes it because somehow over a 4 or 5 year period, we've managed to capture that magic of the first few months of a friendship.
Yeah, totally.
Because it's like a new friendship constantly.
Yeah.
It's actually kind of smart.
I mean,
Not mad at you.
no, relationship redos is what they call those. I
Oh,
think.
okay. I didn't know that.
Redos.
I'm a lot, though.
Real
Why would
redos.
you want, you know, you're the only guy that can stand me for longer than 15
No,
minutes, so
It's all
you
right.
can't blame them.
I've been here for an hour and a half. I can stand you longer.
But,
than that.
yeah, so we got feedback that I was being an asshole to Jason, so Jason's going to do some of the stories today, and I'm going to try not to be an asshole.
And on that note, I just want you all to know that was and is the point.
Yeah. I mean, we wrote it into the show.
We wrote it into the show on purpose.
Yeah.
My job here is what I always thought it was to be, was the class clown.
Tommy Smothers.
Yeah, like I'm a thin Chris Farley. I can dance just as well.
No, you're
Yes,
not
I
a
can.
thin Chris Farley.
Totally.
You're not popping in here and doing cartwheels and shit, dude.
But if you wanted me to,
So if you enjoy this show, like, rate, subscribe,
please
hit that little
likey and
should be
subscribe.
right down there.
The little bell. The bell is good too for notifications.
notifications.
Because it
that's
lets
right.
you know when this comes up, so you don't have to go looking for it. We come to you. So hit
Right.
those notification bells as well.
Right. So hit that bell, hit the like, download,
Yeah.
rate, subscribe, do all that. Mainly because if you do it, then other people will be able to see the show. They
Yeah.
won't bury us down there below some. There's other stuff out there that's named Floridiots too.
Oh
you
yeah,
know?
yeah.
So actually, my buddy has a car. A guy I grew up with has a race car, like a motorsports, Floridiots Motorsports.
Oh,
so
wow.
hoping maybe they'll come on as a sponsor at some
Yeah,
point.
that'd be great.
I'd
love
like to go
cars.
down there and have them drive us around the track a few times
Yeah.
as part of the show. So we'll
That'd be-
see if we can hook up with Brian and make that happen. But
That'd be funny.
yeah, we didn't even know when we started the show. We were just, it was Jason's idea. He was like, let's do a Florida Man show. And we just decided to name it Floridiots. And it turns out a guy I grew up with has the Floridiots Motorsports.
It's funny because that idea, I've had that idea for like 2 years, 2.5 years, to have a show called The Floridiots. So it's like, it's funny now that at the time that it's coming to fruition, that all these other things that we're coming across now, like TV shows like Florida Man and then Floridiots this. Well, there's a connection there, and I think hopefully you all will.
Yeah, you were out in front of it,
yeah,
you know?
hopefully.
Kind of like I was with cell phones. When I was a kid, in my mind, I was like, we should all have cell phones.
Yeah.
But then I didn't tell anybody about it, and then here we are, like, years later.
Should've
so,
listened.
you know.
We could now, everybody could have cell phones now if you would have listened to Lee. But
1981.
1981. But I guess we'll start with the Floridiots story. I guess this is where you would normally
Yeah,
say, hey,
Florida Mans.
Florida
Let's do
Mans,
it.
let's
What do you
go
got,
for
Jay?
it. Well, the first story of the week involves someone who swears he wants to stop the rise of the machines.
Nice.
Right. So, okay, Mount Dora man Wendell Doyle Gawney, 51, he admitted to shooting down a Lake County Sheriff's Office drone with a .22 caliber rifle.
We have some footage of the drone here, actually.
This is it. Scary drones.
So this guy says that Skynet's taken over, basically. I mean, his.
He just said he's
paraphrasing.
I threw that in there as the fact of he feels like he's being bothered by drones. He's noticing them over his house a lot,
right,
and stuff like that. So and that I guess I would imagine in that paranoia of like, am I being watched? You know, like I could only feel like that's almost the same feeling. Like, okay, these guys are taking over. They can go anywhere, do anything, and
yeah, but
like a watchful eye.
Obviously, you can't, and nor would we suggest you shoot at anything.
Yeah,
you just shouldn't shoot shit,
especially in the air because the bullet comes down.
Right. I have a general rule about not shooting or killing things.
Yeah.
I have just
Why?
a little aside here. I have so many spiders living in my house right now
does.
because I don't kill them.
I don't either.
I won't kill them.
No.
So and then they eat other shit that I don't like. But anyway, I digress.
Yeah.
Can you shoot down a drone though?
If
it's over your house.
If it's a police drone, it seems like you can't. If it's a private drone, you can't. Did
you look that up? You didn't.
No. I had actually because they were trying a couple 4 or 5 years ago. They were trying to take licenses away from private drone people, so they're not able to like fly them over power stations and do stuff like that. So they can't go around filming things they're not supposed to.
We're in dangerous territory with this drone stuff because there's no privacy.
Yeah, and he just said Skynet is taking over and the drones are just a start.
So he was arrested, I would imagine.
Yes, he was. He was definitely arrested.
The charges, is it like shooting at let's say if you punch a police horse, right? That's battery on a law enforcement officer. You go to jail for that.
I would just
is this like shooting at a cop car? Is that what
I would imagine if they'll in the wording, you know how you get lawyers that word the laws in the way that protect what exactly you're trying to do. So I'm sure in there it's written if it's property of the sheriff's department, like a car, you probably
might be going to prison for a while.
Yeah. And plus discharging a gun in the air, which I don't think is
can't do that.
You can't do that.
No.
But
unless it's New Year's Eve in Los Angeles.
So going from guns to sports.
Oh.
Okay.
All right. What do we got?
We got another Florida man. Oh.
That's what we do here.
This guy follows the rules. This guy is, and he's definitely not a ride or die for his child or his dad.
Oh, what do we got?
What happened was he's at the tennis court messing around playing tennis.
His kids, like teaching
him?
Yeah,
and his dad, and they're just hanging out, and the kids got their kids' scooters, and they're scootering around on the thing. And of course, dad's all of a sudden like, no, you're not allowed to do that. So he locks his father and his daughter in the tennis courts from the outside.
He locked his son and his daughter in the tennis courts.
No, his daughter and his father.
Oh, he's the grandpa.
Yeah. So he locked his father and his daughter in
the tennis
cage. And he was arrested. His name's James Olson, 63, and he's facing charges for false imprisonment.
And that's the story of how John McEnroe was made.
Yes.
So there you go.
So yeah, he locked his own father and daughter in the tennis court because they weren't supposed to be riding scooters on the court.
Was he arrested for it? Like
yes.
Child abuse?
I think so. I mean, if they're going to get him for false imprisonment.
Oh yeah, false imprisonment. That's right.
That's a no-no. So
having been locked up in several tennis cages over my lifetime, I can say it's not fun. It's not where you want to be.
No par love there, for sure.
Is that a golf reference?
Yeah, man.
This dude knows
Nothing.
negative 4
what?
About sports.
Nothing.
All right. What do you got next? and we'll get the feedback now that I'm being an asshole.
He's not.
I'm not being an asshole.
All right. Okay, this last one, of course, we're going to have a picture of this coming up. But this one's kind of like my favorite because this guy hates signs so bad that a young man, actually they did say his age. His name, he was 26 years old, Haines City, Florida. 26 years old. The young man, with such anger for signs, stole a bulldozer and decided to drive through a neighborhood, predominantly a black neighborhood, running over Joe Biden signs.
Oh, my God.
He also tore down fences along with many other street signs.
Yeah, because he hates Joe Biden. And by the way...
Wait a minute. How many signs did he take? I mean, how many stop signs? Maybe he hates stop signs.
We've got a picture of him right here.
Do you think he hates stop signs more than Joe Biden?
He's shooting at these cans. He hates these cans,
Cans.
like from The Jerk. What bothers me, obviously, we could spend an entire episode on, Florida Man and the convergence of the Trump supporters, because they're very, very similar.
And we're not being political. We're just showing that's the fact of the Florida
Just
makeup.
look at the picture of the guy we just showed you. Just look at a Trump rally, and it's very much a lot of Florida mans.
Yeah.
And I just.
That's why I was there.
What bothers me the most about this is if you pulled this guy aside and said, hey, listen, you ran over a bunch of Joe Biden sides. Why don't you like him? He'd go, oh, because he's sleepy. Okay, but why don't you like Joe Biden? Because he's a communist. Okay, but tell us what policy is hurting you. He's going to take all guns. Let's take them away. It's like, figure out why you don't like someone. So I saw a guy like this the other day. He's selling... on the side of the road, he's got a big tent.
Oh boy!
Where you would sell like the what are the things they go like this?
Whoa, oh yeah, the
right.
He's got air guys or rugs or something like that.
He's got
paintings.
He's got peanuts, produce, whatever. He's got
chiclets.
By the way, if you're watching this show up north, you don't have peanut stands, but down here you can't throw a rock without hitting a boiled peanut.
Every quarter mile on the way to Waldo or anywhere else outside of this town is Peanutville.
Yeah. My entire family, boiled peanut farmers.
Oh wow, there you go, man. That must have been hot.
So this guy's selling Trump shirts everywhere. So many
Cajun?
Trump shirts, and all of them say different crazy shit. And in the front, he's got a bunch of like, "I hate Joe Biden" and "Blue Lives Matter" and shit like that. But at the biggest one he had out there, "Joe and the hoe must go." Which I don't even see how that's allowed to be in public. I mean, do you know the level of disgusting bigotry and hatred? I can't even tell you.
This is the joke. We should be laughing now because this is what I heard about this morning on NPR. For those
Commies.
of you,
Leftist commies.
Actually, no, they can't be because they have to ask for money and people donate. So a communist thing would be like the government controlled that radio station.
But they do, Jay.
No, it's community.
Just like
controlled.
CNN.
Yeah. No, that one is definitely. But anyways,
so what'd you hear?
That's the idea of the social media. They post these things. They post these Florida man stories, the stuff that we're talking about, and the things that we come across for a reason. To get this response out of us, when our job is totally, completely, is always to make fun of everything that we see because we can't let this stuff win, and it wins by making people upset. So we have to just look at it as good try, buddy.
Right.
You're all trolls.
Well, I've been saying this for a long time. The most effective way to end this whole movement over there on the right and get back to actual civil discourse where you have, when I was young, we would have civil debates about like, you believe in trickle-down economics and I don't. Let's talk about it. William F. Buckley types, right?
Yeah.
We've gotten so far away from it that they're so ill-informed. The way to get rid of it is to ignore it. It's not to dive in and talk about it more.
Yeah.
And I don't know how to get out of this, Jay, how to get out of this loop. But here's the thing that I think, again, we could do a whole episode on this, but our emotional response, okay? So the left or progressives' emotional response ends up being the thing that they're upset about. So I'm going to take you through a quick scenario. Trump says something crazy, right? We go, hey, you're not allowed to say that. It's crazy. And then everyone on the right goes, you're trying to stop us from having free speech. Right? So how do you get out of that loop to where can you just let them say racist, insane shit? Do you just let it happen? I mean,
and this is the bottom line.
It's difficult.
This is the bottom line. The reason why it shouldn't bother you is because the same rights that they have, we have too.
I'm going to kiss you right in the mouth.
So
right in the mouth.
The reason why we want them to continue to have their freedom of speech is because